Hey guys, my name is Michaela. Thanks so much for stopping in. I appreciate you taking the time. Today I have everything on and ready to go except for eyeshadow. I am here to eat my words today because I did in fact pick up the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. This box is a hot mess. So I say I eat my words because when this came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I need it. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need it. Tried to convince myself I didn't need it. And I got to a point where I did. But then I was at my son's karate class and there was a wonderful woman that brought in her Ulta haul. So we were swatching her palettes and her Ulta haul while we were sitting there watching the boys practice. And yeah, then I decided I did in fact need it. So a little bit of story time with this one. That night at karate, it was a little after 4 p.m. I ended up calling the only Ulta on this entire half of the state that carries Natasha Denona in store, and called the lady that answered the phone. Bless her heart. She had no idea who Natasha Denona was. I had explained the palette to her, and I even told her, I said, I know it's probably a complete long shot at this point that you would even have any in stock, but I wanted to check. And lo and behold, she came back on the phone and said, well, there's one left. I was like, oh, okay, I won't make it there before you guys close today, so hopefully you guys will still have it tomorrow. She goes, we can put it on a 24-hour hold for you. Yes, please. So she did in fact put it on a 24-hour hold for me. And so my kids get off the bus pretty close to 4 o'clock. And like I said, this is the only Ulta on my side of the state that carries Natasha Denona in store. It's a 40-minute drive and my kids get off the bus at 3:30. So I hauled, you know what, all the way down to the Ulta. And as I'm barreling through the door, because it's after 4 o'clock, it's like 4:05, almost 4:10 maybe. Barreling through the door, run straight up to the counter. I'm like, there's a palette on hold for me. The I Need a Nude palette, Natasha Denona. They're looking and they're looking, but I can actually see it sitting in a tub on the counter. And they're looking everywhere else. They're like, I'm sorry, we don't have one on hold for you. And I was like, is that potentially mine? I think that's my name on that box. She grabs it. She goes, oh, here it is. You're lucky. This was about to be reshelved. Because I had expired past that 12-hour mark. But bless them, I got there just a couple minutes late, but they still had it. I will admit, when she handed it to me and I saw how messed up the box was, I was terrified that it was destroyed. So we opened it in store, and of course, she is perfect. Here she is in all of her glory. I'll go ahead and open this for you. I haven't touched it. I haven't swatched it. I've literally just opened the box. That's it. So I'll give you guys a quick glance here, and you can clearly see I haven't touched it at all just yet. I thought we could do that together. So what I want to do today is, I only have one other Natasha Denona midi palette. I have a few minis. I have the mini gold right here for ya. So there we go. And while I got these out, I figured I could show you guys. These are nowhere near similar at all. I mean, you can very clearly see that these are nowhere near similar. This one though is the mini nude. This one is definitely not the same in any way, shape, or form. This palette is very, very warm. It's got those like peachy bronze, more reddish leaning tones, where these are more of like a pinky mauve. So you can clearly see that these are nowhere near in the same family. The only shade that might even be close is the middle shade in this palette, but clearly, even though this says mini nude and this is I Need a Nude, they are not the same. This one's not a mini. It was in one of the, I think it was BoxyCharm, maybe it was Ipsy, but this is the Peak palette. I actually got this off of a friend who had duplicate boxes, so I managed to get that one. But other than these small palettes, the only other midi palette I have is, of course, the Glam palette. I have not used this one a whole lot. I've only touched a couple of shades. As you can see, this looks pretty pristine as well. It's nothing personal. I just gravitate towards this color story more on a winter rotation, in my opinion, or smoky eye if I need it for a special occasion. If I need to glam up, this is what I would use. So here are the two palettes in comparison to each other. And you can see that they're the same pan sizes. The same kind of packaging style, but you can tell that this one's definitely more of like a gold gray leaning, and this is more of a pinky, true or neutral brown. A lot of people say this is more cool toned. I can see cool tones in here, but I mean, I still would consider a pretty neutral palette in my personal opinion. So, what I thought we could do today is, I have not made many looks with this one, and I have not made any at all with this one. But I thought what we could do today is like a palette bingo between the two. I'm not going to waste your time with swatches. This has been passed around on YouTube a million times over, TikTok, Instagram. So I'm not going to bore you with the swatches or anything. But I thought you and I could experience the formula together, even though I kind of am pretty familiar with Natasha Denona formula and I do really love it at this point. But I thought between these two palettes, we could play like a palette bingo and create a look with it. And you would experience this palette in real time with me. So let's get going on this. Okay, so I zoomed you in a little bit closer. Hopefully it's not too scary. But I am going to use a random number generator here. These are 15 pan palettes. So minimum 1, maximum 15. And we're going to start from the Glam palette. And we're going to pull 2 shades from this one and 2 shades from the I Need a Nude. And we'll create a beautiful look. So let's go ahead and get our first number, which is 4 from the Glam palette. It gives us, ooh, a nice crease shade. So that's a good start. Okay, let's go ahead and get our next shade from this palette, 6. The shade Smoke, which is going to be a great outer corner color. This is actually coming together nicely. Okay, so now let's generate it for the I Need a Nude palette. 12. Sheen. It's a really beautiful color. I'm excited to use that one. That's going to accent those brown colors really beautifully. And 13. So the one right next to it is Tender. Right here. So that's going to be interesting because that looks pretty similar to the Smoke and Crease shade that we have from the Glam palette. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so I swatched all the colors we get to use. This is Crease, this one is Smoke, this one is Sheen, and this one is Tender. So these two are from the Glam palette. These two are from the I Need a Nude palette. So we're going to have a very heavy bronzed eye here. So what I'm feeling maybe is the crease shade for the crease. Then we'll darken the outer corner. We'll kind of create like a transition between the outer corner and the shimmer, and then we'll use the shimmer across the lid. So this is going to be a very simple look, but I was just kind of playing with the formulas, getting to know this palette, and we thought we could do it together. So let's create this look. And then once we're done creating the look, there is a couple palettes in my collection that kind of maybe mimic this I Need a Nude palette if you're balling on a budget and can't quite afford this because it is pricey. But we could go into that after we get this look done. So just like the palette gods wanted, we're going in with crease shade in the crease. As I stated before, I do have my whole face on. I will make a list down below in the description box of what I'm wearing. It's just kind of my typical. I went back to using my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, which is weird for someone with really dry textured skin. Like normally I lean towards dewy, but this matte and poreless just sits really nice on my face, and it has amazing staying power. Like I did a wear test on my foundation, this foundation, the Maybelline Fit Me, yesterday, and because I hadn't worn it in a really long time, and because it would not sit well on my skin, but that was before I really got into my skincare and really perfected my skincare. But I rewore it the last couple of weeks. It's been holding up fantastic. Crease shade is done, so I am gonna tap into the Smoke shade here. That's what we're gonna use in the outer corner. Yesterday morning, and worked all day long while I was running around outside in the heat. And then in the evening, about 5:45, I went outside and sweat my butt off because I went and played, not played, but like private lesson for volleyball. I have spent my entire life in one way or another involved in volleyball. I ended up on a volleyball scholarship. So I played a couple years in college on a scholarship, played club for majority of my life. And then when I was done with college ball, and my body was telling me, hang it up. I moved to coaching, and I coached for quite a while. My mom and I even had our own volleyball club for a while out here in Arizona. The politics just got to be too much. It wasn't worth it anymore. It was a lot of work. If you've ever owned your own business, I'm sure you know, like, there's so much to it. And it's just, I just couldn't do it anymore. But typical Natasha Denona, goes on very smooth, blends very smooth. Yay! Okay, guys. First dip into this palette. We are grabbing, we had Tinder, right? Yeah, we're grabbing Tinder. And I'm going to put that from this matte shade and just kind of like smoke it out a little bit towards the middle of my lid. But anywho, back to the point. Holy crap, I'm sorry. I have a tendency to ramble. Grabbing Tinder here. And so anyways, I was outside doing a private lesson kind of thing. This girl is a setter, which just sings to me because that was my position when I played, was setter. Oh, I miss it so much. But so I was outside in 109-degree heat at, you know, basically 6 p.m. We were outside for about an hour and we got super sweaty and dirty. And even through all the sweating and all the dirt and all of the like face wipes, my foundation stayed completely put. Now, I only use a primer like right here where I have really extremely textured skin and open pores. I use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty primer, literally just right in this area, and that's it. I don't set my face with powder, and I don't use a primer other than that little T-zone right there. This is actually, guys, a really pretty shade. It's just like what I intended. It's just gently smoking it out. It is really similar to my crease shade. But that's what the palette bingo gods gave us. I mean, you're working with two pretty neutral palettes. Your look is going to come out pretty neutral. So, but that's okay. I'm having fun. We're playing. Gonna grab Sheen now. We're gonna put this all over the lid. I'm very excited. I haven't decided if I want to do a brush or my finger. So we're gonna try one with a brush and one with my finger. So let's do the brush first. I'm indecisive today. We're gonna use this brush, a nice flat packing brush, and I'm not going to use any glitter primer. Like the NYX glitter primer is one I like to use, but we're just going to see how this goes. So this side is going to be the brush, and I'm just going to put that all, oh my Lanta. This is my perfect shimmer, you guys. It is extremely subtle, but there. I don't know how to describe it. All I know is this is what I look for in like a shimmer / glitter, is a lot of reflection, but without a lot of product. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it, but there she is. Like, oh, do you hear the angel singing? I'm just going to keep going with the brush because it's Natasha and it's applying perfectly. So I'm just going to keep going with this. And if you can hear my kids in the background, I'm really sorry. It's a weekend. Absolutely no regrets on buying this palette for the shimmer alone. I hope you guys can see what I'm seeing. The joy that I am feeling. I'm going to go back to Tinder. I don't want anything too dark because this is such a beautiful look we have going on. I'm just going to go back into Tinder and just run that along the lower lash line. No, that looks great. It's very soft and subtle. That looks great. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. No eyeliner either. My new love affair. My existing love affair. This is my other love affair. So I'm going to just curl my lashes real quick and we can do this together. No eyeliner because this is a very soft look, which is funny because I've been really into the bold looks. I've been bored with my neutral palettes, if you will, but this one is really bringing back my love. It's bringing back my love. But I'm going to use Lash Paradise. This is one coat of Lash Paradise, guys. One coat. Every time I buy this and I start a new tube, I go, ooh, maybe I don't like this. But after a couple of weeks, well, maybe not even weeks, after a couple days, couple uses, it dries out a little bit. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I do love this one. I forgot. Yeah, you guys, I feel so just like subtly pretty. It looks so nice, and the formula was freaking incredible, which I hope for $69 it's incredible. Now hear me out, guys. I'll be honest, I didn't spend $69 on this palette. I did cash out my Ulta points, and once I cashed that out, I only had to pay, I think, like $15, $17, something like that. So that's what I saved my Ulta points for, is Natasha Denona, because I can't afford it otherwise. She's killing me. I do still want the Yucca palette really, really bad, and the bronze palette is another one that's on my list, but I have to go really slow with Natasha Denona. She's a little pricey, but she's worth every penny. So now that the look is complete, let's go into some of the palettes that I think might be similar. We've already addressed the Glam. It's not similar at all. That's one of the palettes. The only other palette in my collection that I feel like it could be even remotely close to is the Stone Cold Fox. Now, again, this is just within my collection. I'm sure there are plenty of other palettes out there that will give you similar vibes. She's a mess. So, you can kind of get the cool tone vibe from it. You've got a couple of these pinks. You've got these shimmers right in here. You've got, you know, these neutral browns that look kind of like the shade Tender. Actually, let's go ahead and swatch, because I do have those shades still swatched on my hand. Would choose Caving In right here. I'm going to go in with this shade instead, this Baby Doll shade. I think that might be a little closer. So let's try Baby Doll. I still don't think it's going to be, yeah, it's still just not there. It's not there. So let's try, honestly, I think out of this whole thing, I think this shade Boulder Type is going to be the only one that's going to have some similarity. And it's a little bit on the taupier side, so I'm just going to kind of, let's put it right here, actually. So it's still more of a taupey shade than these brown ones that we used in our look today. So, I mean, I still think you can get a similar vibe. I mean, for me, I'm paying for the Natasha Denona formula. Let's put these up side by side. Bear with me, guys, this is awkward. So you can see where you might get some similarities in the pinks, like this pink right here. Might get along with that shade Vague over there. I don't know. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. But if you've got this palette, I think you can get a similar vibe, is my point. This palette is $34, I believe, where this one is $69. So if you're balling on a budget and you've got this one, you can do it. You can do it. I have faith in you. You can do it. Before I dip out of this video with you guys, here is the final look. Mascara and all, no eyeliner. I just feel like it looks just soft and subtle the way it is. And I am curious, have you guys picked this up? What do you think of it? What do you think about this look? I will be honest, I do think you're going to get a lot of similar looks with this. I mean, same thing with the Glam palette, though, to be honest. I think you can get a little more variety out of the Glam palette because you have gold, you have these dark tones, you do have a pink in here, you have some taupey shades, some actual brown shades. So I think you can get a little more variety out of this one than you probably can I Need a Nude. But the I Need a Nude, to me, it's like a staple everyday palette. As long as you're not expecting like a huge variety of looks. I mean, you can smoke things out and darken them up with this shade. Tender was a beautiful kind of smokier shade for these softer, subtle looks. So you will get some variety, but you're not going to get a whole lot of variety as compared to like the Stone Cold Fox, where it has every shade on the planet, ranging from light to dark, shimmers and mattes. So you're going to get a lot more variety out of a palette like that than you are this one. But the formula in this is just unpassable. It's unpassable. In my opinion, of course. This is all just my opinion. Please remember that. But that is it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this and had fun like I did. And I very much look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And I appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye.